Time to get up. I'm not even awake yet. Why did I have to set the alarm so early? I should be still asleep. Where are my stupid shoes? Breakfast. I forgot my helmet. Stupid door. I want to go back to bed. Now, where have I put my helmet? Yeah, this feels like it. Breakfast? Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Minecraft The Journey with me, BugmanCX.
Oi.
This is the Let's Play series.
Oi!
Pocket Bug, stop interrupting. It's too early in the morning for any of this, and I haven't even had my coffee yet. I got to do my intro.
Haven't you noticed yet?
What? Notice what?
Look at your armor slots.
When I got dressed, I wasn't even fully awake yet. What have I done? Actually, I think I know what's going on here. I was playing around with the armor slots, and if I just remove these golden boots, you'll see that the outline of the armor items has returned to the inventory screen here. This was removed in beta 1.0 for some reason, and it's only now in 1.2.4 that it's made a comeback and it's back, it's here to stay. So if I remove all of these items, you will see that we've got the chest plate, the leggings, and the boots. Now, what's going on here is I was playing around with the idea of being able to put items on your head, because when I was playing with these armor slots, I thought, you can put a pumpkin on your head. And then I thought, well, can you put other items on your head? So I modified my inventory outside of the game in the level.dat file and ended up with a TNT block on my head, which you can see here. So let's just get rid of that. There we go. We've got the armor slot for the helmet, which is actually a face. I've always found that a bit weird because all of these protect these parts of your body, but the helmet doesn't really protect your face very much, does it? It more like protects your head. So let's get on with things. There's been a few changes around here, haven't there? We can see we've got a few animal pens here. We've got pigs, we've got cows, we've got sheep over there, and we've got chickens down here. And I've flattened this area out here, this area where the river snakes around this way and then it goes around there and then off that way somewhere. I'm not even sure what's out there. I haven't explored that way before. But I wanted to convert this area into usable farmland, so it had to be pretty much flat. So now we have a little farmhouse to live in and some animals to look after and some eggs for breakfast. Yeah, we got it made. In the last episode, we were able to build this brand new house, mixing up different types of planks. Here you can see we've got the spruce plank here. Up here is the birch plank, and here is your standard oak plank. And there's also jungle planks, which I didn't manage to put into this build, but maybe we can find a use for them somewhere around here. But there were some other textures which received an update in this version as well. These are the new sandstone variant textures that were added to the game a couple of versions ago, but they weren't introduced as blocks. And now in this version, these textures have been modified, although only one of them is currently accessible in the game. If I open up my inventory here, we can craft sandstone blocks in the usual way, like this. But if I take these sandstone blocks and then put them in the crafting grid like this, you'll see that I have a new sandstone variant block here. What's interesting about this is that these blocks share the same name, sandstone, and so when I go to craft these into these new sandstone variants again, I've just discovered a circular crafting recipe. I can take the output of this and then put it back into the crafting grid and just keep going around and around like this and going in an endless loop. Let's have a look at these in action. Oh yeah, they're quite a nice block, aren't they? Quite a nice looking block. Now the sandstone block itself also did get a texture update, but as far as I can see, it's just some pixels and it looks pretty much the same. Here's another block which got a slight change. In 1.2.4, the saturation of the wool blocks got reduced, so now they're looking a little bit more muted. Is that a good change? I don't know. I mean, look at the difference in that red. The next version is 1.2.5, the final in this 1.2.x series of releases. So let's jump up to it. It's a very small release, but it does bring 1.2 to a full close. 1.2.5 was released twice, first as a pre-release on March 30th, 2012, followed by a full release on April 4th. The decision around this was explained by Jeb on the Mojang website. Among the weekly tasks, we've discussed whether we need to do a Minecraft 1.2.5 patch or resume snapshotting. Unfortunately, the 1.2.4 patch included a severe crash bug in the world generator, so we feel it's necessary to officially patch the game again. We're aware that many of you use modded clients or play on the Bucket server implementation, and that patches cause a lot of overhead for you. Neither are officially supported, of course, but it's not in our interest to make it hard for people to play the game. The best compromise we could come up with was to make a pre-release of 1.2.5 today and then update the game for real a few days later. This will give both modders and Bucket a few days to prepare for the release. The pre-release and the full release are identical, so we're running the full release of 1.2.5, and look at this, I'm so excited for this. Open the furnace, shift-click the coal, shift-click the chicken. You have no idea how long I've been waiting for these little tweaks to make my life so much better. Delicious. In 1.2.5, the behavior of these cats has been modified slightly. They're now a little bit less eager to sit on beds and chests, but I wanted to come over here and see just how true that was, because the cats are pretty annoying when they're around here, constantly jumping up on chests and things. Right now, they seem pretty good. Now you have blocked my access completely to this chest, but the most annoying part of all is that the cats, once they're seated like this, I'm right-clicking, they don't seem to respond to right-clicks. Because I guess I haven't seated them, maybe that's it, I don't know. But now you're stuck in the corner. There is just no way for me to get this cat out, and there's no way for me to access this chest. The only way I can do it is if I break the wall and push you out, which is really annoying. Get off you. I want to get into my chest. Much better. Excuse me, thank you. Look, I'll just sleep here on the edge of the bed. Thanks very much, cats. I'm a cat owner in real life, and that's pretty much what it's actually like. Now, one of the features of Arborea is that it's always got plenty of villager spawns. I mean, they're everywhere. It's often like trying to walk through a mosh pit to get wherever you need to get to, but they just breed constantly. And that's got to do with the number of doors around here. There are just so many doors, and they're quite spread out, so villagers will just breed and breed and breed to get the numbers up. But there was a bug fix applied here in this version, and I'm not sure exactly what impact it will have on Arborea. That bug fix was to fix a potential issue with villager door detection, which could cause too many villagers to spawn. Well, I don't know how that's going to affect Arborea, if at all, but maybe we'll just have to watch the population density of Arborea over time. A few other minor changes were included in this release, like if you left-click a TNT block with a flint and steel in your hand, it no longer ignites it, and that sort of thing. Nothing worth going into here. But I really want to move up now, because 1.3 is right around the corner. So let's move to the first snapshot and see where this one takes us. You know, it's incredible how these tiny little changes make me so excited. Watch this, watch this. Shift-click, shift-click. Shift-click, shift-click, shift-click. I can now shift-click all my armor into the armor slots and back out again. It's the simple things. This will also work with enchantment tables, as well as brewing stands, although it doesn't completely work with everything in here just yet. It's incredible to me that these basic usability features are only now making their way into the game. I mean, we're in 1.3 snapshots and I'm just able to shift-click things in and out of inventories. Here's another little performance-enhancing change that was made. If I throw items onto the floor, usually what happens, or at least up till this point, is that each separate item that I've thrown onto the ground is a tracked entity within the game. So I throw one over here and another one over here. I now have 5 entities that the game is keeping track of. Let's just pick all of those up. Now, if I throw an item here and an item here, and then throw another item right on top of this one, or right very close to it, you'll see that they now start to stack up. And I'm not sure the exact range of this, but the closer that you get, the more likely it is to stack with items around it just like that. So now the game is tracking only 3 entities here, but this one is an entity stack of 4 or 5 items, and this is an entity stack of 4 or 5 items, and this is just an entity stack of 1. So from a performance standpoint, if you're digging a huge mountain and you've got thousands of blocks on the ground, if they're all stacked up like this, optimally, that is much better for the game's performance. There's even more cool stuff in this snapshot involving dispensers. Right here by the water, if I place a dispenser down, and then let's put a button above it to make it accessible, and then if I load this up with a boat, this should mean that the dispenser will now dispense the boat into the water. This could be really cool for automating ways of getting into a boat to go somewhere really quickly. So let's see what happens if I press the button. Look at that. A boat straight away, and of course it dispenses backwards. They always do that. But now I've got really nice, quick, easy access to a boat, and I can go and explore this river, which I've not actually done before, because who wants to craft boats and get in them all the time when you can just dispense them and make your life really easy? But there's one other thing that can be now dispensed from a dispenser, which is quite similar, but maybe even cooler. Dispensers will now deploy minecarts in front of them as well, so we should be able to upgrade the roof rail here and make it even easier to just get a minecart out, hop in, and head off down the track. And what I think I might need to do is place the dispenser here, I'm thinking, so that it'll spit out the dispenser onto the rail below it, and then it should land on here, which will be off, and then we need to lean up here and press that. I might have to relocate the button. I think this should work. So let's just remove that block there and then clean up these blocks here. Pop a dispenser right there. And we need a button for the dispenser as well. So I'm going to have to... I didn't bring any redstone with me because I'm a class act. Let me just get some. Back. Now, theoretically, I might have to power this. Maybe I can do it from the side. Let's get some redstone here and just see what's possible anyway. If I put a button... in here, because I don't want to power the rail, I just want to power the redstone. So if I put a block here and a button here, this should now power the dispenser, and it does, because there's that classic click. Go into the dispenser, we need a minecart inside the dispenser. Now let's just see what happens. So if I press this button, minecart is deployed, jump in minecart, press button, off we go. Wow, I can upgrade the whole rail network. Well, that about does it for this snapshot, and the next one is really interesting. It introduces a new demo mode, or rather a demo mode that we've seen before in the PC Gamer demo, but the first time it's been introduced into the official game. So I'm keen to jump into that snapshot and see how different it is. If I were a non-premium user of Minecraft, that is to say, someone who hasn't actually paid for their game, if I loaded up Minecraft, I would be presented with this, the demo mode. Down in the bottom left-hand corner, we can see Minecraft 12W16A demo, although this isn't 12W16A demo, the version. This is just 12W16A running in demo mode. Unlike the PC Gamer demo, that was built to be a standalone jar file that was separate to the main game, whereas this is built right into the main game, running in demo mode. If we go into the screens, everything looks pretty similar here. We've got all of the usual things, but in the front screen here, we don't have the option to create a new world or connect to a multiplayer world or anything like that. We've only got play demo world and reset demo world. So let's jump in and see what it's all about. Generating level, and we're in. And we get that classic demo mode tutorial screen coming up. This is something that the real game doesn't actually give you at all. So if you play Minecraft for the first time as a paid user and you've never played it before, it doesn't tell you how to play, but the demo mode does, and I find that quite interesting. Up in the top here, we can see that it also says Minecraft Demo Mode in a really dark font right above this box. I don't know why it's so dark, you can barely even read it. And now we've got instructions telling us how to play Minecraft. Move by pressing WASD, look around using the mouse, jump by pressing space, and use E to open your inventory. This demo will last 5 in-game days, about 1 hour and 40 minutes of real time. Check the achievements for hints, have fun. Well, that's all pretty similar to the PC Gamer demo that we played so long ago. We've got 2 buttons down the bottom here, Purchase Now, which is going to take me to the Minecraft website, and I don't want to go there right now, so I'm not clicking that, and Continue Playing. I also notice up in the top right-hand corner here, we have a countdown clock, remaining time, 100 minutes and 23 seconds. That's how long I have before my demo time runs out. So let's continue playing and see where we are. Looks like we're next to a giant ocean, and the game is using the in-game chat to tell me all the same instructions that it just told me. Maybe just in case I didn't read any of it, it's giving me these instructions to make sure I know what I'm doing. I already know how to do this, but let's follow the instructions. Press E to open the inventory, and we get our first achievement. Looking around the world here, I can also see this chest. And in the PC Gamer demo, there was a chest that was built into the world when you first spawned, and inside the chest were a bunch of gifts from the PC Gamer crew, if I recall correctly, that would help you out getting started in your world. But they've taken this idea and built it into Minecraft, so you can now generate a world with bonus chests, and the bonus chests come with some things that might be useful to you. I think the contents of this chest can vary slightly, but it's pretty much the same items every time that you're going to need, like these tools and some bread and things like that. Well, I've got my bonus items. I've got 99 minutes remaining. Now what? Well, we might want to play Minecraft for a little bit. One of the more interesting things about the world around us in this demo mode is that the seed is always the same. Even if you start a new demo world, it will always be based on the same seed, and that seed is North Carolina. I don't know why that was chosen for this seed, but it is hard-coded into the game. Although I've only played this demo for 1 Minecraft day, towards the end of your 90 minutes, much like the PC Gamer demo, the player is able to continue, but it's limited to only basic interactions with the world. You need to discard this world and start a new one if you want to keep playing in the demo mode without purchasing. It's good to be home again, but I'm not here for long. I want to go and check out these new commands that were added to the world generation. So if I go out to my main screen, single player, and create new world, and go into more world options, I now have these new buttons here. We've got allow cheats off, commands like /game mode and /xp. Well, let's turn that on, and bonus chest off. Let's turn that on as well, and just generate ourselves a new world and see what we get. Whoa! Hi. Yep, I was in reverse F5 mode and the game remembers that. But look, right in front of me we have our bonus chest, and having a look inside we've got a random assortment of some tools and some sticks and some planks. The contents of this chest varies from world to world, but it's only based on a limited set of items. And of course we should take this with us, because actually having a chest is quite a useful thing, and not having to cut down a tree to craft one, whoa, that's a lot of pigs, is also good. So what else do I have access to in this world? Well, cheats, apparently. But are they cheats or just commands? What I can do is I can press T to bring up the chat menu. Now, if I was on a server, this would load up this input box where I can type in things like this, and if I press enter, that would send the message to the server and all the other players would see it. But in this case, it's just a single player world, so I'm the only one who can see these messages. So it might be kind of useless in single player, but actually it's not. let's say I go over here, for example, and I've just found something really interesting. Pretend I'm in a cave and I've just found a spawner and I want to write down the coordinates of my spawner. So I'm at x minus 139, z 271. So if I press T, I can go x minus 179, z 271, or something like that. It was anyway. But look, I can note down those coordinates for me so that later on I can just press T again and bring up the chat menu, and I've got my history there, so I can really easily see what I wanted to type to myself without having to tab out and go to a notepad app or something like that. One other interesting thing is when I do press T, the game pauses. And this is unlike multiplayer mode because obviously you can't pause a multiplayer server when there are more than one persons on the server. But this is kind of useful because the game isn't actively threatening me. No skeletons are coming up behind me or anything like that. One of the other interesting things is that if I type /, I can now press tab and see a list of all of the commands that I have access to. Toggle downfall, give, XP, time, kill, and game mode. So let's have a look at each one of these. With toggle downfall here, if I press that, that is the one which controls the rain. And I really don't want that up, so what I'm going to do is press T again and hit /TO. But I've forgotten what it was. So I can press tab again and it will auto-complete for me. So if I input that command again, it's toggled the downfall, and now we're back to a nice sunny day. So the other commands that I have access to are /give, and with /give I can give myself things by ID number within the game. So for example, give BugmanCX item number 30, and that gives me a cobweb. So that's kind of fun, isn't it? I don't know if I have to put my name in single player mode. I certainly do on a server. So if I just do give 45, no. Okay, give player item, amount, and data. So there's a lot more to that give command that I can do potentially later on. The other commands I have here are /xp, and with /xp it's the amount and then the player. So let's give me 10,000, whatever that means, and see what happens. You have entered a number too big. It must be at most 5,000. Okay, let's give me 5,000 XP. Not the right way round. XP 5,000 BugmanCX. There we go. Okay, immediately up to level 52, which is perfect for enchanting, I might add. I suppose that is a little bit cheaty. We also have /time, and /time allows me to manipulate the time in the world. And I use this a lot when I'm having to do multiplayer because I can't sleep in multiplayer mode when I've got a camera. A little bit of behind the scenes here, but if I have my camera up in the sky recording me doing a build, I can't just run off and sleep in a bed because the camera can't move and I can't touch the camera, otherwise I'll ruin the angle and everything like that. So I need to do /time and set the time back to 0 or something like that to allow the daylight to come back. Because on a multiplayer world, obviously, both players have to sleep at the same time in order to trigger a full sleep. So having a look at that, if we do time set 0, we're going to set the time back to 0, which is the beginning time of the world, or I can set it to something like set time 15,000 and set it to unknown command. Time set 15,000. Takes a little while to remember all these things. Set it to the middle of the night. Let's have a look at /kill. Oh, this is going to be a bit nasty. That one is going to kill the player immediately. Ouch. That looked like it hurt. And my game has crashed. Back again. So let's just set the time, set 0 back to 0 so that we're back in the daylight, and have a look at that last command, which was game mode. Game mode, BugmanCX 0. Oh, I always do this the wrong way around. I don't know why. Game mode 0 puts me in survival mode. Game mode 1 puts me in creative mode. Game mode 3 puts me back in survival mode because I guess those are the only game modes available at the moment. Game mode 4, survival. Everything else is just survival. So that's really interesting and quite convenient if you're the kind of player who wants to test things out in the world. Like, let's say you're building a new redstone machine and you need to switch yourself between survival mode and creative mode. That's actually really quite convenient because there was no other way to do it before without modifying your game outside of the world. Well, that's all we have time for today, so thanks once again for joining me here in my survival Let's Play world, exploring all the amazing snapshots and versions of Minecraft. I really do enjoy the snapshots, I have to say. Thank you so much to my wonderful patrons for all of the support, and thank you to you for watching. I'll see everybody in the next episode. Until then, this has been BugmanCX. You've been watching Minecraft The Journey. Bye bye!